What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today I want to talk about potentially a new build order that might be something you can do, maybe not necessarily as a free-to-play, but as a low spender might be acquirable, and that has to do with the deific artifacts we have seen, because we've seen some crazy stuff going off. However, it's not going to be something you can do very easily as a free-to-play, because you've seen in these events, those deific chests, the origin artifact chests are not very easy to come by, but if you are spending a bit in the game, you could do something very non-traditional and something that feels like it might be insanely good, even compared to like the typical Lord of Fear Aspen. So today we're going to be theory crafting, talking about that, and then we might actually try to do it on one of our own accounts. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. What is this utter nonsense Barry Gaming is spouting today? Well, it was just something I kind of thought about based on our last video. Now, the fact that these deific artifacts are insanely strong really changes the way heroes can be built. But again, as a completely early game free-to-play player, this is going to be something it's going to take too long to implement, and you're better off most likely doing the normal strategy. However, this Dragon Rui, as we've seen when it's at Splendid, is a real game changer and potentially makes it so that instead of going the typical Lord of Fear Aspen route, Star Swordsman Machman, Doom Terminator Vulcan route, you might be going for something else. No, I clicked the wrong one. It's actually Therapist of Blood Betty, which is pretty interesting. It also, in a way, also makes those of you who enjoy the early game Starwing Jara strategies much better, because now Jara gets the speed, she gets the control precision, and she gets the energy. So this artifact changes a lot. Now, I think we can all agree the way that this artifact works is just godly with Betty, because of the fact that it can still trigger Superfluous Oblation, triggering a Scarlet Therapy at the very beginning of battle. And as you saw as well, because we're getting all those additional stats, even though these CC chances are very, very low, and without a Core of Origin, it's very easy to do. However, if you also have a Core of Origin, it just makes things even better. And the amount of progress this hero would get would be pretty insane. There's really only one thing that would stop her, and that is most likely coming across some wave like this. If you hit a Valkyrie, you're kind of just SOL on the account for a little bit until you get more powerful, that you can like one-shot them. But Betty could be absolutely ridiculous. Now, as far as the actual like build order goes and everything, because you got to remember, tenants are important on here. And honestly, she has some okay ones. Nothing like great. She does have Patricia as her one of her tenants, which isn't amazing, but again, she also actually has a high chance of CC with her abilities as well, so this could be like a crowd control meme team. As of right now, Blood Tide Queen Arania is the only Transcendence hero over here, which isn't great. I mean, I guess you could go for an Azrael, and that way you can stick to like shadow heroes if you really want to. I guess Azrael could be built for damage while she's keeping the enemies locked down. That could be a strategy. But again, it's hard to really compare this directly to some of the best heroes because they have such good tenants overall, whereas Betty does not. But a lot of times, if you are spending some amount of money, you can just brute force it. You don't have to worry about it. Honestly, Blood Tide Queen Arania, she's kind of one of the ones that is surprisingly decent overall. It's just nobody uses her because she's not the best at anything she does. You could use, you know, another couple Betty and stuff like that. She just doesn't have the best damage dealing tenants because most of them are assassins and priests. And assassins and priests just don't give it that great of stats. However, going for Shadow Sealand with Betty is very, very easy. You can even get Sealand 20 with the regular base level 10 star Betty, or I should say E5 Betty. It's a little more difficult, but you would probably still be better off going the route of building the Eloise and then transferring over once you can get that artifact, because I do think this artifact is the most important part. Now you're gonna say, Barry, why do I have to wait for going all the way to the max? Well, that's because even if you go for the lower tier versions of this, you don't get that important part that's giving her 100 energy at the beginning of the round. Now this artifact, even at glitter, is still insanely good because chances are in the early rounds, in the early difficulties of chapters of Void Campaign, this extra 100 speed is actually probably gonna be enough to let you continue to go first. So you're getting that control precision and that dodge immunity offset. You're using like a basic attack and then using the passive version to CC the enemies as well. So in the earlier rounds of the chapters, it's still not that bad. Even when you go up to 2-star, up to Radiant, it doesn't get much better. It's not really great. It's really when you get all the way up to the max that this thing gets amazing. But again, remember, these are not easy to come by. You're gonna have to be a spender. You're gonna have to go for like 2 to 3 events where you spend. That may or may not also get you some cores of origin and sublimation, but what it's most importantly going to do is get this guy here. I think it's the exotic grimoire is the one. Control immunity, energy. Yeah, exotic grimoire is the one, and then you take it with the Rui scepters, so you're going to need both of them because we're going to the functional style ones here, and this is the functional where you get this upgraded Rui. You got to take a regular Rui, a regular exotic grimoire, combine it, and you get this guy, which again isn't horrible. I mean, it's not great either. And then of course you need to do that 4 times to get all the way up to here. So you can see how this is not a strategy an average player can do, but people were already thinking and going for the build on the very early game if they were spending for Betty. Heck, we literally had the Betty series that we were going to try to do until that went kaput. And even if you don't have Giant Killer, this could be an absolutely insane strategy for mid to low spenders even. Might take a little more time, but you can get there. Now, if you are a spender and you're thinking about doing this strategy, please beware. Getting to the account level 130 takes a very long time. I'm going to show you, for example, our free-to-play series that we started on Christmas. We're about a half a year in right now. We are still only level 120. It takes forever. Why is that important? You need to get to level 130 so that you can just unlock the rest of the campaign, clear through it, and until then you're not even going to be able to do anything else. Now here's the one thing that's kind of cool. This is available from like day 1 on your account, essentially once the blacksmith opens, compared to Cores of Origin for Betty, which is why she struggles so much sometimes before you get to the Void campaign, because this is what you're relying on for that extra crowd control chance. Whereas now, if you're instead going for the artifact, she's gonna be stronger leading up to that point. You can still go for Giant Killer, all these other things, but I don't know if somebody is going to or planning to make a Betty account. I would love to pick up the Betty series at this point on somebody's account, or maybe what we should do is we should just find one of our servers that's in that ballpark of like level wise. My goodness, so many get stopped before that. Maybe go back to the original free to play. That could be fun. Or heck, we could already go back here because I think we even tested a Betty on this account. It's already VIP 5 and everything. We could literally go for it on this account. We already have a Rui Scepter too, which I mean, that is just perfect. And maybe we have to spend a little bit and have a little bit of fun. This could definitely be something we do. So if it's something you guys are interested in, I will keep my eye out. I will consider doing it, because even if we want to go for a Betty, go for a true spender experience, we could probably get one for around 10 to 12,000 starry gems, which is not that bad. So this could be a series we try, use it as a first Transcendence hero, see how far we get. Luckily, we already have a high enough level, so we can jump straight to the Void campaign, hopefully. See how it turns out. Let me know what you guys think. This could be potentially a really good spender build order now that these deific artifacts exist. I'll see you guys next time.